to Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network, presented by LA's First Choice Auto Auction. It's your chance to hear directly from the head of Lion Baseball. Now, from Black and Brew in downtown Hammond, here's Alan Waddell.
Hello, Lion fans. I'm Alan Waddell, and man, what a strange couple of weeks it's been, and certainly a strange last week as not only the entire world has been flipped upside down, but certainly the sports world as well. And if you look at the NCAA and what's going on there, is this is officially our last broadcast of the spring semester for all sports, because there will be no more sports on Southeastern campus or on any college campus for the remainder of the spring semester due to the coronavirus. And we're going to spend a lot of time on this, tell you all the different scenarios going on. We want to thank Black and Brew for being our host this year. I know our season's getting cut a little bit short. We also want to thank Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction for being our title sponsor. But we got a lot to talk about. Not a whole lot of baseball or maybe X's and O's to talk about. We're going to talk about all these different scenarios going around. If you have some questions, you can always send them to us on social media. We'll give you our contact there when we come back. But let's take a break. When we come back, and the head baseball coach of your Southeastern Lions, Matt Reiser, going to join me on stage here at Black and Brew, and we're going to fill you in on all that's going on with the coronavirus right here on Southeastern's campus. Stay with us right on Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black and Brew on the Southeastern Sports Network.
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports, and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
All right, welcome back. Final show here of the 2020 spring season. This is Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black and Brew. And some of you out there might be saying, why are y'all having a show? But I'll tell you why we're having a show. We're having a show because we want to answer any questions. I know some people are really kind of still, with all this confusion going on in our world, want to know what's going on as far as with the players, their academics, what does next year look like. We're going to try to get all those answered for you all the way until 1 o'clock. And again, if you can't stay with us the whole time, this show will be uploaded on the Southeastern Sports Network on YouTube. You can go there and watch this episode later. We're going to try to get all those answers. At this time, we're going to welcome to the show the head baseball coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Matt Reiser. And Matt, man, look, I know when you were a player, you went through Katrina and got relocated over there to Texas Tech when you were playing at Tulane, and maybe at some point you said, hey, I think I've seen it all when it comes to baseball and these type of things, but I don't think any of us have seen what's going on right now in America and across college athletics and professional athletics as well. As it's been a strange week.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot's transpired over the last few days, and obviously it keeps evolving every 24 hours. And, when we looked at this time last week, we were sitting here talking about a week against Louisiana Tech and Valpo, and, had Mississippi State coming in this week along with Southern Miss. Was, a lot of dates that some of our folks had circled around on their schedule, but things change. Yeah, like you said, it was funny. I actually spoke with Coach Jones. He gave me a shout this weekend and said, hey, big guy, you've dealt with some similarities in this scenario, obviously not to this extent, but, we had Katrina we went through, and we had to relocate and had a lot of unknowns and a lot of questions without answers. And so, be the leader that you are, go back to your real-life experiences that you've already gone through to help these guys go through their scenario too. So, yeah, just we'll I guess kind of talk about how it all unfolded to begin with. Obviously, Thursday, some of the conversation started coming out, and it was finally put out there on Thursday that the NCAA announced that the championships, spring championships, and obviously the NCAA basketball championships would be canceled, including the College World Series. So again, it goes back to questions of, hey, what are we going to do now?
Right.
Do we kind of form an alliance as a conference? As a Southland Conference, do we get together with SEC and once this is all over and said and done with, once we have this pause button kind of put down, do we continue on and play our own conference championships and try to play like an invitational? So again, some things continue to evolve, and we went from maybe playing Friday night to no playing till March 30th to no practice March 30th to the end of the season pretty quickly and pretty rapidly. And obviously, they've got some people that are way smarter than me and you that are in the higher up positions. Obviously, the WHO has announced this is a pandemic, and they're a lot more educated than we are in the situation. So obviously, all the precautions they're taking is to protect all of us at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, yeah, it was a rough day, rough weekend for our guys to have their season taken away, but they are extremely mature. I thought they've handled it extremely well. They understand that this is bigger than baseball, and we talk about it all the time, but this is a way to actually live it.
Listen, I'm going to try over the next hour, like I said, until we're going to be here till 1 o'clock. I'm going to try to get Matt to cover all the different topics of what's on your mind, as far as academics, what's going on with these seniors. Are they getting a year back? What about next year when you talk about roster limits? We're going to try to cover all of this over the next hour. I'm going to do my best to get through all of these different topics. And if you have any topics and you would like to ask about it, if you're watching on the stream, there's a place there on the stream that you can go underneath and send questions as well. And Colton will pass those to me as well. Also, you can tweet at Matt. He's at Matt Riser17 on Twitter. I'm at Alan G. Waddell, and you can also tweet it at Lion Up Baseball, and Damon's over there. He's running that account as well, and we'll try to get all these questions answered. But, Matt, I guess I'll start first by asking, where are your players? Are your players here? I know you have a lot of players that aren't from Louisiana. Are they on campus? And the other thing is, school is still in, but it's not really in. Right. So answer some of those questions.
Yeah, again, let's go back to the involvement. We've had 3 different conversations with the guys. The first conversation was after the Ivy League and the Patriot League announced that their seasons were completely done. And my first conversation with them, hey, guys, y'all try to take a deep breath. Let me explain to you what this is, the coronavirus. Let me explain just some details that we have so far and what's been put out there. And obviously try to calm their nerves. That's the biggest thing, I think, in our leadership roles. We have to show a voice of confidence and also educate them as much as possible on all the information that's prevalent to us. So at the time, we announced to them, hey, man, don't worry about your seasons. For now, we're good, man. Let's just rock and roll. So there might be a pause in it. We'll see. Next conversation we have 24 hours later, the season was paused. So we went out for practice Thursday and just said, hey, man, let's go have some fun. Let's go and enjoy. Let's relax a little bit. And also, the NCAA made that announcement that the spring season was closed. So by the end of practice Thursday, we had announced to the guys that, from an NCAA standpoint, they would have to be sanctioned for a championship. Hopefully we could work through some details and continue to fight for the season. So actually sent a group text to our coaching staff in the Southland Conference about speaking with our ADs. The ADs met there on Friday with the conference at 1 o'clock and discussed our future as far as, hey, man, would we come back from the break and the pause and maybe have a spring season? So we had scheduled a Friday, Saturday, Sunday inter-squad, right? You want to have these guys ready to rock and roll in case they do unpause it and make sure they're ready to rock and do their deal. So we had plans Friday to inter-squad, and all of a sudden Friday about an hour before we were going to go out for our pregame ritual and pregame routine of the BP and the stretch. And then in and out, and then obviously first pitch at 6 o'clock, we got news from the Southland Conference that everything would be shut down until March 30th to hit the pause button on everybody. So, they're still here. I told them take the weekend if they want to go home, go home and spend the weekend with their families. Obviously, they are student athletes. So,
right.
Some folks might think once the season's canceled, okay, man, that's it. They go home, they will get ready for the draft, or get ready for summer baseball. We still have 2 months of academics, and obviously we told the guys this, hey, man, this should be our best semester ever in the classroom because it's the only thing we have to concentrate on.
And school is, it's not coming back to it.
No.
Is it coming back together?
No, this is it. So campus is still open. So all the dining services are still open.
Right.
The library is still open. But the actual in-class interaction, the face-to-face
and that's
interaction.
done for the semester.
That's going to be for the rest of the semester. So school's closed today and tomorrow for classes, so everybody can
So that's different
adjust.
than local schools.
Yep.
So local schools, they're talking about they're going to get back maybe in a
month. Yep.
Yeah, but the university is shut down.
University
as far as
for
in class.
face-to-face. So now they're obviously navigating through this. This is going to give us some time. We gave them off today and tomorrow to help navigate some because all the classes will go online. Some will be 100% online as far as, hey, man, kind of work at your own pace. Here's the work. Get in, read your chapters, do the work, do your quizzes, your tests. Some still need lecture time. So now they're trying to figure out the Skype part of it. So the interaction there for the rest of the semester. But we will be in online classes until the middle of May until we go through finals.
What about team activities? Can you work out? Can you lift weights? What's the
So 0 team activities once the Southland Conference announced there on Friday. All voluntary and mandated activities will not be allowed till March 30th. After that, we would reevaluate and kind of go from there. So for now, the guys are completely shut down. They can't work out on their own on campus. They can't use the facilities as far as the cages, obviously the field. The weight room is off limits. The only thing they can do typically on campus or right now on campus is academics.
So the weight room is off limits?
Weight room's off limits, yep. So, all your sports, all your spring sport, all sports.
So even individually, they can't go in there by themselves?
Individually, nothing voluntary as well. So if they go in there, try to go in there on their own, they're not allowed to use the facility for now. So, so they're having to adjust. Some of these guys, obviously, you talk about, obviously, baseball because it's a spring sport, but just look at football.
What about the cages?
No.
Can they work? They can't hit or anything?
Yeah, nope. They have to find something, again, off-site to go do their workouts. And again, this is in abundance of a caution. But, obviously, I think they know more than we do.
So, essentially, as far as baseball, it's closed.
Yep.
And baseball is closed as far as anything in the weight room, batting cages, being able to throw bullpens, those are over.
Yep, that's all over.
On campus. They'd have to go off-site if they wanted to do that.
And then we're going to reevaluate, though, on March 30th. So what we're looking for is hopefully maybe by the middle of April we can have some interactions on campus where we can start practicing and get them ready for summer baseball. Because that's the other question that's coming up now. Now, obviously, we're getting flooded with the phone calls from summer baseball programs around the country saying, hey, man, we know you guys didn't really get a spring season. Hey, man, who you got? I know your arms won't be shut down. I know your position guys who got a lot of bats. They're going to need ABs now. So what are we going to do? How are we going to kind of work through this and navigate through it? At the end of the day, we've got still questions to be answered. We've got a lot of questions to ask, and we've still got a lot of questions to be answered on it to figure out how we're going to do it. But for now, till March 30th, nothing will be going on campus.
All right, well, there you have that. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some eligibility stuff. So I'm going to answer some questions about, or have Matt answer some questions about, what about these guys that are seniors? Do they get that year back? What about, any freshmen, sophomore, juniors? Do they get those years back? And then as far as next year, when we talk about, if they are eligible and you bring guys back into the program, roster limits, we're going to talk about all that when we come back. So stay with us right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black Brew on the Southeastern Sports Network.
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
All right, welcome back. Man, just getting started. Interesting program here as this is Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction, as we're live right here at Black & Brew. We want to thank Black & Brew once again for being our host. We were here from every lunch at Monday from 12 to 1, but this is it. This is our last show of the year because there's no more sports. But again, we're going to spend the rest of this hour trying to catch you up on all you need to know. We're actually going to bring up Athletic Director JRT. He's here with us. He's going to jump up, and we'll talk about some other things going on campus that's not baseball, because obviously this is affected. There's a lot more other spring sports.
Yeah.
The women's basketball team got pulled off the conference championship, conference tournament court literally moments before the game started. So we have a lot to talk about with him as well. But, Matt, going back to baseball, and I guess one of the main things that a lot of people want to know, and this came out immediately when they started canceling things, was what are going to happen to these players and their eligibility? Right. So, I mean, I guess fill us in on that a little bit. So, I mean, the way I understand it, and I'm going to let you clear it up, but these guys aren't getting counted for this year. Is that correct?
That's right. Originally, obviously, it was, we talked about the seniors, and, this could be the way they went out. This could be the end for them. Also, with all this going on and just so abruptly. I mean, this was not a discussion for our community, where it was a couple weeks, and then we, obviously came to this conclusion. It was pretty much a 24-hour deal where, hey, you're playing, you're going to pause, you're going to take off, you're going to be completely done with your career. So, obviously, that was the first fight, was for the seniors to hopefully get their year back, and then obviously the NCAA obviously went through it and go, well, how do we tell the seniors they can have their year back but not a freshman, right? You've only played 15 games or 16 games in the season. So, they came out, and I thought they did the right thing. First and foremost was give everybody their year of eligibility, basically like 2020 never existed. And so, of course, it brings up the skeptics of, hey, well, it creates so many issues. I mean, what about the 27-man roster? What about the 11.7? What about the 35-man overall roster? Like, how are we going to navigate? That's stuff we can navigate through this. That's why we're in the leadership roles that we are. We'll have time to obviously discuss those deals. Those have not been answered, but the one question that had to be answered first and foremost was, were the guys going to get a year back? And so we were glad to see that. I think the NCAA to move forward so quickly and so promptly was huge for us as an industry, for all of the spring athletics. So now we can start making those decisions, and we can start kind of manifesting some ideas of, hey, man, how is this going to affect us? Some of the conversations been had is that, hey, man, we'll do a one-year waiver where nobody has roster limits or 11.7, but this isn't a one-year deal. Let's be honest. You're talking about seniors coming in, with seniors coming back, but everybody getting that year back.
I mean, you're probably talking about a 5-year.
Absolutely.
5-year swing.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be the effects for next 4 or 5 years, and so there's some things to obviously.
And just to clarify, so what Matt's talking about 11.7. So baseball has the fewest scholarships per capita as far as players you have on your roster. We have 11.7 scholarships that you have to divvy up
between
over
27 guys,
a 27-man roster. Well, now you're talking about you're adding a whole cycle, because that cycle that would normally cycle out as seniors, they're not coming out, and then you're still going to add freshmen for next year that are coming out of high school and junior college players or whatever. I mean, so you're adding into that cycle, which kind of causes some logistic issues. And the other thing that comes up about this, and it's something that got voted down last year, was whenever they tried to add that third assistant. Yeah. So now you're going to have more players. You have a bigger roster, but you don't have as many coaches. Right. So there's a lot to work out here.
Yeah, there is, and our game was put on this roster limit, and there's limitations of the 27 guys that would be allowed to be on scholarship. This was probably implemented about 10 years ago. So the sport survived and thrived without these rules and regulations. Also, we put these rules and regulations in to hopefully continue to make our sport better overall. Again, those are things and details we need to work out and figure out. Just for instance, if this would happen to us last year, what we would have coming in this year.
Oh, you had all those seniors, yeah.
We would have been at about 17.76 scholarships, I think is what I ended up figuring out, opposed to 11.7. We would have had 38 scholarship guys and a total of almost 50 guys on roster. So, yeah, it would have been a big influx. Obviously, we're still going to have a big influx with just the 5 seniors that we had. But at the end of the day, those are things that we can navigate through it. Look, and there's a lot of decisions to be made. The MLB draft, that's the question comes up. Well, how's the draft going to work? Is that going to be the same? For now, yeah, the same. It's going to be the draft in June. Obviously, people got their evaluation process in a 4 to 6 week span as opposed to a normal 14-week span, and see him playing championship games, that kind of stuff. But I think if you're asking personal opinion, I think the high draft picks still go. There is extra year of eligibility that some of these guys can navigate with. So, for instance, let's just throw one case scenario out there: a junior who was going to get, say, $150,000. 9 times out of 10, they pressure the kid into signing. Why? Well, if you come back as a senior, you can get $5,000. You can get $10,000. You don't have a year of eligibility. The seniors actually have leverage now, right, to come back. There is no, hey, man, I'm going to give you $5,000. Hey, if you think I'm worth that, then you're going to have to pay me because I got another year of eligibility to school to go back into. So, I think it creates an influx for us as colleges. I think there's going to be less guys signed. I think you're going to see a lot more seniors that are going to get that opportunity. And probably get a little bit more money, but the signability won't change in the draft. Again, their cap of the MLB draft is still going to be their cap. I don't think they can start taking, let's just say, for instance, that junior now wants, $400,000 instead of $150 because he's got 2 years of eligibility as opposed to 1. I don't think a whole lot of those organizations are going to go, hey, man, yeah, here's your $400, because they do that with every kid. They're going to run out of the cap money pretty quick. They're still going to have to find money savers. They're still going to have to find guys who want to play and that are good enough to play, also, at that level. So, for now, the draft is what it is. Obviously, I think, in my opinion, some guys are going to take some breaks and then get ready for pre-draft workouts. You'll see more pre-draft workouts this year probably than you ever have in the draft. I think overall – we'll work through some of these dynamics of the 11-7 and the 27 and the 35-man roster. One proposal. Again, everybody's trying. This is like Coach said this morning, our head coaches meeting. It's uncharted waters, so nobody knows what the formula is for it. Nobody knows the exact answers for this. But one of the proposed was, hey, man, let's bring everybody back August 28th. Pick up the season where it left off. Your 35-man roster that you had declared for the season, for 2020 season, we'll play it in the fall. Play your championships and NCAA championships in November before you get to the bowl series with all the football stuff, and then pick up your regular 2021 season in the spring. And then all those freshmen that came in, worked out with you, practiced with you, they're not on your 35-man roster for the fall, but then they can jump on the team also for the spring of 2021. And now you don't have that 5-year influx.
What was the thought of that? I mean, that seems like it makes sense.
It's some, right? There's some sense that makes there. But now the things that you want to go poke holes in is, okay, you can tell me that you're going to have a guy that's going to go out and throw 100 innings in the fall, take a 4-week break, and now come back and throw 100 innings in the spring. So then you're like, oh yeah, well, I didn't think about that. There's a lot of things you don't think about. It sounds like great ideas and an initial, when you put it out there. But I think you'll be able to poke holes in everything. There's going to be conditions with all scenarios, and at the end of the day, we're just going to figure out and navigate what we think is the best situation for the student athletes. And again, that's why we're in our leadership roles, and we have the people that are way smarter than I am up in NCAAs.
Matt, we have 5 seniors?
5 seniors, yep.
Okay, I'm sure across the country, they're not all going to come back. I mean, some of these guys are ready to go on to their life and maybe have a job lined up.
Right.
Has those conversations taken place yet? Or
not yet. We'll have those meetings. We're going to meet as a staff or as a team tomorrow just to discuss future plan. We got some more answers today. I think we'll get some more answers by the end of the day and help the student athletes obviously navigate through the springtime of the academic part first. Also, we know what the baseball is for now, and then also to move forward. Summer baseball next fall, next spring, and that kind of stuff. We'll kind of do that. But one in these conversations I was having with our head coaches and trying to discuss, talking about our ADs last week when all this kind of came pretty quickly and came up, one of our guys brought up a good point. He said, man, I've got a senior that's wanting to go to medical school. He's going to graduate, and he's out regardless. Like, he's going to go and do medical school. I got another one. If you tell him he can play for the next 30 years, he'd play for the next 30 years. Every year you get eligibility back, he's going to take it and he's going to run with it. So I think it's left up to the individual kids. Obviously, the baseball, the timestamps on everybody at some point in time. I think that, again, the kids will have to – the coach is going to be very open to the kids and lay down the information and answer the questions they have. Like, hey, coach, what are the possibilities of me coming back? what is my scholarship coming back? What is my ability to play coming back? What are the opportunities that I will have? And then our coaches have got to do a really good job of answering that as honestly as they can at this time. And obviously help the student athlete understand that we'll answer at the time of honestly as we possibly can, and then let them make their decisions. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be some guys around the country. We talked about this morning that there's a fourth-year freshman in some of these programs. He got a medical his first year, and then was a redshirt his first year, medical his second year. This is supposed to be a third-year freshman. All of a sudden, now you look up, he's going to get this year of eligibility left, and now he's got a chance to graduate as a freshman, right, from his college, and he'll be a grad transfer as a sophomore to go have 3 years of eligibility somewhere else. We talked about Champ earlier today. He might actually get a chance where he's a year different. He's a sophomore, and Casey's a freshman now.
Yeah.
The gap's been closed, everything going on. So there's a lot to navigate through. There's a lot to answer those questions. But again, I think at the end of the day, the NCAA made the right call, and we were thankful to the NCAA making that prompt call quickly about the year of eligibility being returned to all student athletes, which I think was the right thing to do.
Man, I tell you, I came into this show and I said, man, what are we going to talk about for an hour? We've only covered 2 topics, already 30 minutes in, so we got a lot more to go. We're going to give you as many answers as we can all the way until 1 o'clock. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Matt's going to jump off stage. We're going to bring J.R. Tees up here, athletic director at Southeastern. We'll talk about some other challenges going on campus right now as we deal with the coronavirus here in 2020. Let's take a break right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black & Blue on the Southeastern Sports Network.
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made, once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
All right, welcome back. About halfway home here on our, I guess we can call this the coronavirus special of Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black & Brew right here on the Southeastern Sports Network. We're now going to welcome to the show the athletic director here at Southeastern Louisiana University, Coach J.R. Tees. And Jay, it's certainly been an interesting week, I'm sure, for you and your staff as well. As again, we're talking to Matt about the baseball perspective of it, but we have a lot of spring sports that they got shut down as well. And I even brought up the point earlier about how women's basketball hadn't been in the conference tournament in a few years, and they go to the conference tournament. They're literally seconds before tipping off when they pulled them off the court. So, I mean, just kind of talk about this last week from the department as a whole, their perspective.
Well, it's unprecedented. It's not something you practice. It's not something you prepare for. And we had a admin staff meeting this morning, then a head coach meeting this morning. I got an AD call later on today with ADs in the conference, and it's been crazy, man. I tell you, just to give you a time frame, last Friday we had a 1 o'clock call with the athletic directors. We made some votes. By 10 o'clock that night, we had another conference call, changed the votes. 8 o'clock Saturday morning, we had another conference call, changed the votes. And it was crazy, you know. So what they came to consensus is nothing at all through, and I know y'all talked about it, March 30th, reevaluated then. No spring activities at all competitive-wise for the rest of the year. And I'll tell you, I feel for it. But I tip my hat to our staff. They've done a great job of riding this wave, so to speak. But you just got to do whatever's best for student-athletes. And there's no right answer. It's something we talked about this morning. There's no right answer. You just make decisions you think is best for your specific university and your student-athletes.
So, Jay, I mean, I'm sure there are some questions that are coming up, and I know that a lot of these decisions haven't been made. I mean, there's logistics going on. I mean, I'm sure questions are coming up about season tickets and things like that were. I mean, what is the protocol? I mean, there is no protocol. I mean, you're having to kind of make this up as you go, but maybe some of those topics that are being discussed internally that our fans need to know about.
Well, as a university, we're doing a Q&A and hopefully having a website in the next few days.
Okay.
We're doing the same thing from the athletic department side of it. Like you said, you know, how you handle the season tickets. How do you handle sponsors if fulfillment wasn't done? You know, and I feel for the sponsors. You know, Black and Brew is a great example. Get out here and support them, man. I tell you, downtown Hammond, I'm looking around outside the windows kicking, and the food at Black and Brew is ready to roll. So come on out here and support your businesses and our sponsors. But there's no right answer, Alan, no matter what you say.
And it's nobody's fault. I mean, that's the other thing, you know.
It's nobody's fault, and there's no right answer. You know, we will make the decision on what's best for us as a university, our fans, and our student-athletes. You're going to have some people upset, you know, and when they do, I just blame Coach Reiser or somebody else, and they'll blame me, and we'll move forward. No, I'm just kidding. But we got good support. We got good fans that understand we're all in this together because the sponsors are hitting the same hit. I mean, your business and Black and Brew, you see, like, this place is usually packed, and right now it's not. It should be because the food's delicious. And hopefully they'll come out and support the sponsors and things that we don't think about. Like you said, season tickets, asking people to bear with us, work with us, and we'll be happy to get those answers hopefully in the next day or so.
So you can always, you said it's going to be on the website? So
yes,
it's on lionsports.net. They're working. I know Damon mentioned that earlier, trying to come up with some Q&A, some FQAs, frequently, or FAQs, frequently asked questions, whatever acronym that is.
FAQ.
So, but Jay, you know, I was talking to Matt just a moment about eligibility, and for you on a personal note, I mean, you're talking about Champ. He's going to be a third-year freshman. I mean, and you're going to see that around the country. I mean, you're going to see – this is just unprecedented what we're seeing right now across the country.
Yeah, I use that for example. You know, third-year freshman, and he made a comment, man, I'm going to finish my eligibility with my master's degree. And that's how you have to look at it. Instead of feeling sorry for myself or licking my wounds, hey, I'm going to leave here with my master's.
Use that opportunity.
Absolutely. Take advantage of the opportunity that's presented to you. You got 4 years to play, and all 4 years are very valuable. But bottom line is leave here with a degree. If you don't leave here with a degree, and if you get this opportunity to have extra years, you better leave with 2 of them.
So I'll ask you this, as far as the university is going as well, I mean, I know we see a lot of organizations right now taking, because look, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that this is a serious situation we're dealing with, and, you know, and this, I mean, and I do. You have major organizations that have canceled and shut down, so obviously somebody knows something out there. But what precautions are the university or the athletic department taking as far as their staff and keeping everybody safe as well there?
Well, right now, every facility is off limits except for academics in the athletic training room for people that need some care. And it's given us this time to get in there and do some deep cleaning, sterilizing the academic center, sterilizing the weight room, sterilizing the training room. That's what we're doing. We're taking advantage of that time to do things like that. And that way, when the student athletes do come back, it's ready to roll for those guys. And the university is doing it university-wide as well.
Jay, I know that if you look at across the country, and I know that there's been some thoughts of, hey, this was a knee-jerk reaction, and, you know, whatever. But I think the point of shutting these things down is they didn't want people from certain communities traveling to another community, being in contact with those people, and coming back because they feel like that's what the spread is about. And I think that's why you're seeing sports, not only on the college level, but on the professional level as well, and so many of these athletic events being canceled is because of the travel that's involved as well. Am I correct there?
Yeah, no doubt about the travel. And, you know, you hear people say, well, student athletes are young and healthy, they're not going to get it. You're right, but they could carry it. And the fans that come, elderly fans, somebody that's young like me and you and healthy, what the hell is so funny? Just kidding. But see, the young, it's the people that are elderly, people that are sick, and you got to take everybody in consideration. You know, these student athletes are young, healthy young men, but you never know. I don't know. I don't pretend to be an expert on coronavirus at all. So you listen to what the experts say, you take the precautions, do what you need to do.
What's the as far as the other sports? I'm sure you have some athletes that are just devastated at this point, correct?
No doubt, and that's who you feel for, the student athletes. You know, because like Coach Rogers said, they give them a year of eligibility back, but it doesn't mean they're going to be able to take it. You know, some of these student athletes are graduating. Some have jobs lined up. Some have other plans outside of athletics after this year. Some going to med school. So that doesn't stop. Real life doesn't stop. So unfortunately, some of them are just going to simply lose a year of eligibility.
Spring football shut down as well, right?
Yep. Everything.
So everything is shut down then. Wow.
Crazy times.
You ever see anything like this?
Never, and I hope I'll never do again.
No, it's certainly been something. And, it's one of those deals. It's, we've dealt with Katrina. We've dealt with, storms. But it's like an invisible storm.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it. I mean, you see people getting sick and you see the reports. But a lot of this is invisible. I mean, and it's an interesting time.
And the unknown. We all.
What's the light at the end of the tunnel? Where does it end?
Well, that's the thing. In athletics, we're all type A personalities. I want to try to fix and control everything, just like my head coaches. I can't fix this. I can't control this. Like today when we had questions, don't have the answer to every question. I don't like going into something not knowing the answer to it. But that's real life right now. Like you said, the unknowns, not understanding everything about this, and I don't know if anybody does.
I literally called Jay about 45 minutes before we were going on the air. I said, hey, come swing by and answer any questions. And, I really appreciate you stopping by. I know that you took time out of your day, but anything else that you want to tell? Because this is our last opportunity to speak.
The main thing to all of our sponsors, all of our fans, all our season ticket holders, bear with us.
Yeah.
This is uncharted waters. We're going to try to do the right thing, but we're all in this together. Anything we can do to help you, and in turn, anything you can do to help us, because we're all in this together. Come support the business. Come support our sponsors.
Yeah.
Like Black and Brew, like Gateway Forward, like all the sponsors that really support us and show us some love.
Well, Jay, thank you again for stopping by and spending some time. We're going to take another break. When we come back, Matt will be back on the stage. We're going to talk a little about, recruiting. That looks a lot different right now going in to next year as well. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about that right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Black and Brew and Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction right here on the Southeastern Sports Network.
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
All right, welcome back. We've got about 20 minutes left to go here on our show. I want to thank Jay Ortiz for stopping by and spending some time with us here, taking some time out of his day to fill us in on all the uncertainty and what we know at this point. And again, just to kind of recap, if you're looking for answers, he touched a little bit on, if you bought season tickets for this year to variety of sports, if you're a sponsor of Southeastern Athletics, just remain patient. They're working on answers right now as we speak. And so you just go to lionsports.net. They're going to have some frequently asked questions sections up there as well to try to fill up any answers that you have, any questions that you have, try to get some answers out there. We're going to welcome back Matt Reiser to the stage as we're bringing back up as this is Inside Southeastern Baseball. And Matt, again, a lot of things to think about. And, I mean, again, we have to talk a little bit on this hour. We do have to talk about on the field a little bit. You know, we did have a game this past week that we would have been covering here tonight. This was a strange week. You played a Division I game at a high school field, and then your season got, and then your season got derailed by this virus. And but I got to ask you, one thing that's kind of jumped in my mind that I want to ask is, we talked about roster limits. We talked about these guys that are going to get their year of eligibility back, which is great for those guys as well that choose to be able to come back and play. But what about, those high school seniors that are normally at this point getting recruited?
Right.
They don't have games right now. They're, as far as the LHSA in Louisiana, I know other states have done it as well. They're not playing games right now. So what changes as far as your recruiting? I mean, you can't go out and evaluate. I know you have guys that you start when they're sophomores and juniors, but, I mean, you're talking about a senior in high school, and it depends on what their birthday is. Sometimes between 17 and 18, their body completely changes. Their velocity may jump 4 or 5 miles per hour. How are you and your staff handling that?
Yeah, well, just for instance, you get in the spring season, and obviously you start the recruiting process a couple years in advance before any season. But, you start to see things that you need. Things start to develop and kind of manifest, and you go, okay, well, now we've got this need, and now we've got that need, and things will continue to change and evolve. So, obviously, just for instance, for us personally, we had 3 more that we wanted to sign this spring. Now, we talked about some of this limit on the rosters and the amount of guys you could sign, and now the guys coming back, and so there's a couple things in this. One, you saw it a little bit this weekend, but I thought the NCAA did a good job. Hey, man, some people are going to try to prepare for no roster limit, and they're going to start trying to sign a lot of guys. And
because that's the big fear.
Right? And so, just kind of accumulating numbers, well, the NCAA today announced, hey, there will be no new NLIs until we get some more things worked out with details.
National letter of intent.
Yeah, national letter of intent. There will be no new NLIs signed, at least for the next month. So that was good. That was good that they put a pause on that to allow some schools to kind of figure out what's going on, because most schools aren't playing right now. Most all JCs, I think, are shut down right now for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Almost all the high schools.
So there is a chance junior college could play?
There's a chance the junior college still can come back in the middle of April, end of April. High school baseball is doing the same thing. They're putting a pause on it as well. They haven't canceled the season. So there's still some opportunities here later in the spring. But for us, we've been put on a recruiting ban, on a dead period. For us, a dead period means nobody's allowed to come in and nobody's allowed to go out recruiting-wise. Conversations can still be had on the phone and in that manner, in and out. But we can't go out and nobody can come in to visit campus. So we're put on that ban and that dead period until April 15th, obviously until the NCAA can figure out a little bit more of, hey, man, where we're going to go forward with us. One, to protect us. One, to protect society. We're not going out, and if we are infected and feel like we need to work, nobody's getting an advantage on that side of it as well. So I think that was good. I think it was, again, another good move by NCAA to put those 2 bans into place to allow everybody to kind of figure out here the next month, hey, okay, you got your seniors coming back, so those needs that you were feeling with incoming freshmen, there's still needs you have. Well, again, a coach made a great point. Hey, man, yeah, that's fine. You can take the roster limit off and have as many players as you want. You can have as many scholarship guys as you want. It doesn't matter. Who cares about the 25% minimums, all you put on the spot? All those things you can ban, but you can't change the amount of guys on the field. There's still only going to be 9 positions on the field. Right. That's not changing. So, again, it gives us a little bit of time to kind of work through some of those ideas and thought process and have those conversations with our guys, with our seniors who may or may not be coming back, and with all of our players. Hey, man, you got a year of eligibility back. What are you going to do? It looks like it's a possibility that maybe even the JUCOs do the same thing. If they end up canceling the season, do they give the junior college kids a season back? So now the junior college kid that we have signed to come in and play as a junior for us, just got, coach, I'm going to go back for my sophomore year and then come my junior year because your needs are not the same, because your seniors are back or your draft guys are back. So there's still a lot of things that can happen in this, and a lot of, at the end of the day,
think about that.
The one thing that's not going to change, seniors are going to graduate and they're coming to college. So it's a matter of who is going to make the roster moves and the spots to make it available.
And again, we're speculating, but do you think that those seniors, this hurts seniors in high school? Because
No, I think at the end of the day, the opportunities will be there for them. I mean, they're the ones that really want it and that are moving on, and obviously it's just going to give them actually some more options. In all honesty, I think part of the positive in this, it gives them a little bit of a crystal ball. Some of the seniors that got into their year, and actually for all of our players, it gave them an idea of where they are and where the first 4 or 5 weeks may be, and okay, maybe am I a role player, am I a starter, am I a guy, or maybe hit the reset button and just kind of start all over.
Let me ask you this: if they're probably going to, it's not official yet. They're expanding the roster yet. Is that official?
That's not official. No.
Okay, but that's speculation. That's speculation.
Yeah.
They expand the roster. Do you, as a coach and your staff, do you say, hey, on a guy that maybe is a tweener, and you say, hey, man, I think he has a chance.
Right.
Do you take a chance on that guy? I mean, do you have more?
I think the biggest thing in all this is we just got to be upfront and honest with all the student athletes. I mean, hey, here's the hand we've been dealt. Now you make your decision on what you need to do. Here's what we see, and this is forecasting for next spring. Hey, man, this is what we foresee you doing. Here's the depth chart. I mean, this is the one thing we do in our recruiting process is that a lot of schools probably do not, is we open up the depth chart. And I show them, hey, man, here's the spring depth chart, and here's where our guys stand as of right now today. And this is the team for next year. So now you can see where you fit into this. If you like where you fit, if you like and you see the picture and the plan and the vision we have for you, then let's go. Sign the dotted line. Let's go down the line. Let's rock and roll. If you don't, then move on. And I think that's the same scenario that we're going to do in this case. Hey, man, here's the board. Here's what we got coming in. Here's where we see you kind of lining up on the depth chart. If we started tomorrow, things can obviously change, and things will change until the springtime. But have those communications with those student athletes so they can make their decisions on, hey, yep, I want to keep working, stay in. I think I can beat this guy, that guy, this guy out. Or, hey, I need to make a move and go to a different direction.
If you've ever been in the coaching office, you know what I'm talking about. But they have, as he's talking about the depth chart, they have it on the wall, dry erase boards or chalkboards, and they have all the names. But now you have some guys that, like you said, this is the depth chart for this year. This is the depth chart for next year. Those guys are still on it. So, as far as areas of need, does that change?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the big key in this is,
if you're losing 3 right-handed pitchers or you're losing a third baseman, you got to go out and get one of those guys. But now it looks different.
Look, and at the end of the day, as coaches, man, we want to look out for each student athlete as an individual policy. We want what their best experience could be possible at our university and in our baseball program. But at the end of the day, we've got to make decisions based off of what we state a 35. It might not be a 35 anymore, but better decisions for the team as a whole. We've had to make some of those tough decisions in years past. Hey, man, if we've got 3 guys injured in one spot and we really need a catcher, hey, man, we've got to have a catcher, and we don't have any money available because our 3 guys that are money are hurt. We've got to go find somebody to help the entire team. We can't just sit here without a catcher because 3 guys are hurt. So some of those scenarios will present themselves and have in years past. But, again, I think the biggest thing is just the open line of communication with the student athlete and then obviously the athlete communicating as honestly as he can back. So, we'll see. Again, we're in uncharted waters, and this is some things we've never had to deal with to this magnitude. And I think the NCAA so far to date, obviously after making the decision to cancel the spring season, so far they've answered a few of those questions in a very promptly manner to obviously continue, and things will continue to come up and evolve, and they will continue to make decisions quickly and promptly to hopefully keep our sport safe and move on.
Matt, how frustrated are you and your team? I know that going into this year, I don't want to use the prove it year, but I mean, I know you've kind of said that. Hey, we want to prove that last year was a little bit of a fluke, and I mean, how frustrated are you that you don't get to see this thing play out?
Well, it was funny. D1 Baseball did an article with Coach O'Sullivan, head coach at Florida, who was currently number 1 in the country at the time of, and so of course that was the question asked: like, how frustrated are you? You're the number 1 team in the country. The season was in the day. Y'all are the team that's playing for national championship. And I think Sully said it best, man. He just, this isn't quoting him, but this is just kind of going through the article. Was basically he put out there, we're disappointed for our kids that we don't get to play for national championship, but we're disappointed for everybody in the country that doesn't get a chance to prove it. Who's to say we would still be that team at the end of the season? Who's to say the teams that have struggled so far wouldn't be the team that won for national championship at the end of the season? So there's so much of the season that was left. Most teams hadn't even started conference play yet. We're still working some things out. From an injury standpoint, there's so many different things that obviously can manifest for an entire season that we only got 1 month of it. It's hard to put a price on it. So like I said, obviously I think the answer to the question of our frustration of our kids and our players and obviously our coaching staff. staff. The immediate reaction was frustration, but I think now it's more of an understanding of it and the maturity that our guys have shown. Hey, man, this is bigger than us. This is bigger than baseball. This doesn't only affect baseball. This affects softball. This affects all spring sports. This is going to affect more than just sports. I mean, we're talking about this is going to affect the entire country, not only from a sports world, but from a business standpoint. It's going to affect some businesses, with the shutdown, and then also ultimately the greater thing is going to affect some people's lives. I mean, we're talking about life or death for some people. So there's a lot of things affecting this. And I think our guys have put that in this perspective, and they've done a really good job of, hey man, there's some positives that come out of this.
Bigger than baseball.
Yeah, it is. And I think the neat thing about this is they're starting to see those positives. Hey, how often do you get time with family in March? Hardly ever. I mean, your family is your baseball family. So, a lot of guys were asking us this weekend, like, Coach, can I go home and see my family? Absolutely, man. So I'm going to take my 2 boys up to the hunting camp. This is the time I don't ever get a chance to spend with them. And this might be the one time in my career, and probably will be the only time in my career, I get to spend some quality time with my family in the middle of the season. So take advantage of that. Don't sit here and dwell on what the have-nots are. Go ahead and have fun with what the R's and the reactions and realities are.
All right, well, let's take our final break. Again, if you have anything that you'd like Matt to address, we'll have it in these last 10 minutes. You can tweet it at LionUpBaseball on Twitter, and we'll read it aloud right here. I got a couple of that have come in. We're going to get back to address them when we come back. Right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black & Blue on the Southeastern Sports Network.
What do you love most about being a student athlete at Southeastern?
So I chose teammates for life because on our golf team, nobody's from the same spot, but the friendships we've made, once we graduate, I know we'll always be friends, we'll always see each other, we'll always come back and visit.
The Southland Conference, 13 member institutions, over 4,200 student athletes, achieving success in the classroom while excelling in 19 NCAA Division I sports and making a difference through serving others and giving back to the community. Determination, hard work, commitment, excellence, and collaboration. Together, we are Southeastern!
All right, welcome back. For the final time here in the spring semester of Lion Athletics, this is the Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Black & Brew and also Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction. They've been our title sponsor, and unfortunately the year's going to get cut short, but we certainly don't appreciate them any less, as they've done a tremendous job for us, and we appreciate everything they've done. But Matt, I did have a question come in on Twitter that tweeted to at LionUpBaseball that I wanted to ask you. That good question. Didn't think about this one as well. Matt, how does this impact the schedule for next season? Because I know a lot of times with scheduling, there's, you come to us, we go to you, and those type of situations. Any variations there?
Yeah, in the schedule, sometimes there's these home and homes, right? Like Jacksonville will return a trip to them in 2022, I believe. For us, personally know we're lucky. There's no scheduling conflict. The home and home we had with Jacksonville will be fulfilled for 2022. They were able to make it down. Obviously, Valpo came down. That was a guaranteed game, so there was no return trip in the hand. And then the conference schedule was already set up. I mean, so the teams.
What about Mississippi State? They were coming here.
They were coming here. That'll be some of those conversations.
Did we lose that?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a conversation, obviously, we have where we try to obviously work it out, because the Mississippi State deal was a 3-year deal. It was a deal where we'd gone to MGM, gone to their place. The return trip was down to us, when they went to LSU, which we were supposed to play this Wednesday as they were on their way to Baton Rouge. So, we'll
but
see.
Then they don't go to LSU next year. So,
they don't go to LSU next year. So then again, the schedule's got to work out and figure some of those dynamics out. So possibly, maybe that's 1 or 2 there that'll work out. But the conference is already set. We set it years in advance. The 2021 schedule, 2022 schedule.
Are your opponents already set for next year?
Opponents are set for next year. Not officially because contracts aren't in hand, but the opponents are done for 2021 and 2022 for those weekends. And obviously the midweek will the way you build a schedule, you build it on the front end with the weekends and figure out the homes. Obviously the 3-game series, and then you figure out your midweek with the amount of home dates that you need to fulfill still, and obviously the opportunities to play the Mississippi States and those guys, and try to build for RPI. So, but 2021 and 2022 weekends are done. 2023 and 2024 conference schedules are almost have almost been confirmed as well, but the preliminary schedule has been put out. So that's how far ahead we do on this scheduling. So hopefully we won't have any more issues. Maybe the 1 or 2 small things. We'll obviously getting Mississippi State back at home again. That was a big game for us. We'll get that done here in 2 years when they got to go back and return that trip to LSU to Baton Rouge.
So that's what you got to work on there with the schedule. And again, we just have a couple of minutes left here, Matt. About 5 minutes or so to go. And look, I don't know if there's any other way to say this as far as the athletics department. I mean, athletic standpoint, but it just kind of stinks. But it is what it is. You got to move past this, and next year certainly will be some challenges because it's going to look different, and that's one of the things that's going on right now, not only in the athletics world, but just in the world in general. Is we just haven't seen anything like this, especially in our lifetime, and it's just we're going to have to make some adjustments on the fly. But I mean, we are encouraging everyone. This is a serious situation. Take the precautions. If you're not feeling well, stay home. Make sure that you're washing your hands for 20 seconds, that you're coughing into your elbow if you have to cough. And, again, we're just trying to make sure that everyone feels comfortable and feels safe. And I'm sure, if you don't know, Matt's father's a doctor as well, so I'm sure he's probably got some. He's probably busy right now. I'm sure. I can only imagine.
Absolutely.
But you just got to stay safe out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think again we've already discussed this, but it's bigger than baseball and it affects more people than just us. But there's going to be a lot of busy people out there. North Oaks, for instance. I mean, you got to thank them for what they're getting ready to go through.
Yeah.
You see some of the videos, and obviously so much information is prevalent online, and the videos are online. But some of the mass hysteria comes from, hey man, how many people are going to have stuff in hospitals? And so now you got to set up other venues where you're not trying to obviously contaminate other patients and individuals. And so they're going to be working tirelessly around the clock. The nurses, the medical field, the doctors, and then obviously just what Michelle Sutton in North Oaks is already starting to prepare. She's always on top of her game. And
I was in there this morning. They were already checking people, checking temperatures.
They're ahead of the game, man. They just a big a compliment to them. Obviously, we'll thank them again once it's all said and done, but the preparations they've done just in the beginning of it just shows the amount of leadership we have and what our country's doing as a whole to get ahead of this thing and obviously limit it to a minimum of infections and the minimal obviously deaths that we will have from it. So a big thank you to our fans, man. I know it was a short-lived season. It stinks, but we did get a chance to play 7 ball games there at the Pat. Again, another positive out of this is our freshmen, man, they come in and they have to make that year transition. Some transition really well year one. Some takes a year to get their feet wet. Well, that's done.
Almost got 2 falls.
Yeah, almost. And they got really a glimpse of the spring season. So really the experience that they're going to gain come back a year from now in spring of 2021 is what we're kind of assuming. Again, who knows what the proposal of the August date will set or not. There's still a lot of questions to be answered. But that 2021, now they're in a year more experience, and now they're not really freshmen. They've got 2 years in the program. So just what they've matured to from a baseball standpoint will also be further. And then just again a big thank you to our guys, man. you don't get in that locker room and get to see how they handle this thing. Not every fan does. I have the fortune to be able to in that locker room and see the faces and see the reactions to the news and just the maturity of our guys, man. No doubt, Coach Donnelly and Coach Gipp and Coach Mamu and Coach Caswell, we've recruited the right guys to be able to understand that this is something bigger than just baseball. Obviously, the disappointment in there, but our guys are truly living hey, man, we're going to make this thing better. It's a bad hand we're dealt, but, sometimes in life you get dealt bad hands and then you make the best out of it. So our guys will be bigger and better and stronger for it in the end.
Well, we're out of time. That's going to do it for us. We want to appreciate everybody that's been here today, that's come with us every week. Listen, it's hard to believe, but this is our final broadcast until September the 3rd.
Wow.
Thursday night at Tulane for football. That's when the next time the network will be on the air as we bring you football. So, again, everybody stay safe. Again, use common sense, and let's try to knock this thing out, and let's get back to normal. And hopefully that will be sooner rather than later. Well, Matt, we'll see you soon, and that's going to do it for us. For Matt Reiser, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next time right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with Matt Reiser, presented by Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction and Black & Brew on the Southeastern Sports Network.